Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. My name is Ben Thomas and I'm the Director of Publications for MarketScale. Today we're going to discuss 9 steps to take your B2B business and get you live quickly. Quick and effective communication is key at this point in time right now, and we want to make sure we're enabling you to do that in the best way possible. So let's get started. The first step is to determine your why for going live. This is the first step for a reason. In fact, it's really one of the most essential. The why is the main catalyst for each of your next steps. Without a meaningful why, your broadcast won't really have much of a direction at all. Examples of a good why might be, well, we want to inform the public about a new product release, or maybe you want to inform internal channels or employees about, new processes and new procedures, or maybe you just want to talk to them about, new protocol changes that have happened during this time. The second step is to identify your audience. Who is your target audience? Well, this will direct the types of content that you cover in your broadcasts and the medium that you use. For example, you probably don't want the general public to attend an internal sales training, but you would want a larger audience to watch a product demonstration or product release video. The third step is to select your medium and finalize your logistics. Things like where and when do you want to broadcast? Do you want to use a platform like Brightcove or BrandLive to distribute your video? Do you want things like live chat functions, quizzes, or maybe some white labeled elements? Are you okay streaming to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook? Those are things that you all have to consider. Step 4 is to ensure that you have the right equipment and the right technology. Do you want this to be a single webcam shot? Would you like to add things like multiple cameras, playback videos, maybe add some lower thirds or bring in some additional guests? Well, this step is critical to make sure that you can technically achieve the look and feel that you want, and that you can send it to the proper destinations. For example, we use Wirecast as our primary switching software. It combines most of the broadcast needs that we need into one single, easy-to-use software. It can be pretty processor intensive admittedly, so if you do go with something like Wirecast, make sure that your computer can handle that software. Step 5 is to define the roles of everybody involved in the production. Who do you want your host to be? Who are your guests? Who's going to operate your show? And who's going to make sure that all of your video assets are created? Well, these are all questions that should be answered in this step. Remember, multiple people can be responsible for multiple different things. So it's okay if your host also happens to be the person who's in charge of sourcing your guests. And your operator can also be the person who writes the show outline. You can expand or condense roles to accommodate whatever your production needs are. Step 6 is to build out your content. Now that we have the roles defined for things like scripts, outline, video creation, and graphics, you can actually start building out the content for your show. You want your look and feel to be consistent throughout the broadcast, so it's important that each of these people are in frequent communication with each other. Now remember that your audience will be watching on a number of different device types, so be mindful of that whenever you're building each piece of content. For example, smaller text generally doesn't show up particularly well on phone screens, but if you're watching on a larger monitor, some of the tight shots and bigger elements may be overwhelming for the viewer. Number 7 is to plan and execute a promotion strategy. This will vary widely based on your audience, but if your goal is to keep it small and internal, then creating a meeting invite and attaching your live stream link to that invite may be all you need. But maybe you're doing a more widely attended broadcast on Facebook. Then you could create a Facebook event and promote that on your social channels. But if your event is on a platform like Brightcove or BrandLive, then maybe you should look into doing a more wholesale promotion effort. For instance, you could create a custom email, send it to your prospects with a promotional graphic, or maybe even put a hype video on the social channels with a link back to your broadcasts. Step 8 is to rehearse. This is often one of the most overlooked steps in the entire process, but it's also one of the most critical. You want to test everything. Bring all of your elements, assets, guests, streaming destinations into the show and completely run it from front to back. Even small things like making sure you conduct your rehearsal at the same time of day as the broadcast is really, really important. You want to be able to test guest connections and make sure things like internet connectivity won't be a hindrance for you. Step 9 is to actually go live. This is my favorite step. All of your preparation, rehearsals, practice, all of your element building has led up to this moment. Use this time to effectively communicate to your audience the message that you want them to hear. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Ben Thomas. If you have any questions or have anything that I can help answer, feel free to shoot me an email at ben.thomas@marketscale.com. I'd love to get back to you.